The Dark Island, the secret of Great St. James. Deep in the American Virgin Islands, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Caribbean Sea in a dance of rough surf, lies Great St. James Island. Not like her little sister, who all people have heard about. Little St. James, who they call the island of Bediville in rumors. No, this is the Big Island, which no one talks about a lot, but it was the real one, which Jeffrey Epstein bought in 2016 for about $225 million. Epstein, the man who built an empire of money and scandal, bought it to complement the network he had built on Little St. James. There, at Great St. James, he would get what no one imagined: underage recruitment, violent assaults, beatings, and rapes, and invitations for the rich and famous to participate in the dark nights. Island D, which covers about 165 acres, is full of green hills and white sandy beaches, but below the surface, it was a grave for the spirits that were broken there. After Epstein's death in 2019, the island was sold with her sister to Stephen Dickoff, a Connecticut billionaire, for $60 million in 2023, and he promised to build a luxury resort on it. But before that, before they surveyed the monuments, Great St. James was a kingdom of absolute evil. This story is not completely fictional. It is inspired by what happened there, from testimonies that came out in the courts, from reports published by the New York Times and the Miami Herald. But tell it as it is, interesting, realistic, step by step, to feel the horror that was happening in the dark. It will start from the beginning, from the man who was ruling it all. Chapter 1, The Man from the Shadows. His name was Alexander Falcone, an unknown rich man. Not like Epstein, who was known on Wall Street. Alexander was an American banker, the kind who moved money underground, in the secret nets of Swiss and Cayman banks. He was 58 years old, with short white hair, gray eyes like the sky before the storm, and a smile always hanging on his lips like a mask. No one knows how to make his real. Fortune, official reports say $2.5 billion in investments, in technology, and real estate, but those who know say he was laundering money for the Russian mafia and Latin cartels. In 2015, when he heard about Great St. James, the island that belonged to a wealthy American family from the 19th century, he decided to buy it. The price was $18 million, a quick deal, no questions asked. Island D, 5 miles from St. Thomas, was perfect, isolated, protected by the laws of the American islands that allow for absolute privacy, and full of natural caves and dense forests to hide secrets. Sarah hesitated. Bessie, I don't know anyone like that. Alexander smiled, pulled out his phone, and went to the picture. A 16-year-old girl, Emma, from a poor neighborhood in Florida. This is a cousin who is a friend of a friend. If you get her, you will get an instant reward of $5,000. Sarah, who needed money to treat her mother, agreed. The week after that, she convinced Emma, who was working at fast food, that this job would solve her problems. You will earn a lot of money and come back in 2 months. Emma agreed, and the island arrived in a small boat, her eyes full of dreams. Chapter 2, The series begins. The series was like this. Every new girl gets another one, and the money increases. Emma, when she arrived, saw Sarah happy, laughing and drinking cocktails on the beach. Alexander decided on dinner, fruit salad and fruit drink. But after an hour, when the medicine they put in, the drink began to work, a mixture of sedatives and stimulants that make the body weak, The nightmare began. Alexander took her to the cottage in the forest, which was full of soft covers but iron walls. There, with 2 assistants, muscled men from Latin America, he struck her first with his bare hand to the face. "You are mine now," he said in a calm voice like poison. Emma shouted, tried to run away, but the men grabbed her, tied her to the bed. The assault was direct, violent. He struck with leather whips on the back and thighs, until blood came down. Then gang rape, a full hour, without mercy. Hidden cameras in the ceiling were depicting every need. Multiple angles, sound and high-definition image. In the morning, Emma was broken, her body bruised, but Alexander entered, wrapped her in a towel, and said, "If you bring a friend, you will be free, and you will take $20,000. Emma, who was frightened and broken, called her little sister, Layla, 15, who was living with their aunt in Miami. "Come, Layla. This job is nice. A lot of money." Layla, who was dreaming of new clothes and an iPhone, agreed without thinking. And so, the series continued. Within 2 months, the island was filled with 12 minor girls. Às 14 tudo, 17 franzra. Every unit came as a worker. But I discovered the truth when the drink worked and the doors closed. The attacks were daily, beatings with their hands or tools, individual or group rapes, and sometimes sick games like tying in trees in the forest and leaving them in the rain for hours. Al Jazeera was full of cameras, in the villa, in the caves, even in the bathrooms. Everything is recorded and turned into digital files, kept on encrypted servers in Switzerland.